Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Radha Madhava Ki Jai Antaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, who understands English? Oh, I have a floppy mic. Ist nicht mein Feind. Is it a trick?
No, it stays like that.
Aha, it's sort of damaged or something.
Yeah.
So I should, okay, but it's good. We work with it, it works. So Louis, willst du übersetzen für Kishorikon? Vielleicht Shamaras, du gehst dann auch auf diese Richtung. Prabhu, you understand English?
Yes.
Okay, where are you from?
Romania.
From Romania, okay, so maybe English is better.
English, German, whatever you like.
Yes, sorry, I speak no Romanian. So, thank you very much for coming today. I know it's a little hard, it's cold weather, so very grateful for those who have turned up today. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, as most of you know, from the 4th canto, the creation of the 4th order, chapter 16, entitled Praise of King Prithu by the Professional Reciters. Text 6? Yes. Text 6, haha, nice. Okay. This is a fairly straightforward verse, so we go straight into it, okay? Vasukala upadate, Vasukala upadate, Vasukala upadate, Kalachayam vipunjati, Kalachayam vipunjati, Kalachayam vipunjati, Kalamchayam Samhasaveshu puteshu, Samhasaveshu puteshu, Samhasaveshu puteshu, Samhasaveshu puteshu, Pratapan suryavad vibhuhu, Pratapan suryavad vibhuhu, Pratapan suryavad vibhuhu. Prabhus, please. Vasukala upadate, Kalyam chanyam vipunchati, Samyasapeshu puteshu, Pratapun surya viripuhu. Vasukala upadate, Kale chayam vipunchati Bhuteshu. Vasukala upadate Thank you very much. So, word by word, okay? Vasu, riches. Kale, in due course of time. Ubate, exacts. Kale, in due course of time. Cha, also. Ayam, this King Prithu. Vipunjati, returns. Samaha, equal. Sarveshu, to all. Bhuteshu, living entities. Pratapan, shining. Suryavat, like the sun god. Vibhu, powerful. Translation. This King Prithu will be as powerful as the sun god. And just as the sun god equally distributes his sunshine to everyone, King Prithu will distribute his mercy equally. Similarly, just as the sun god evaporates water for 8 months and during the rainy season returns it profusely, the king will also exact taxes. So meaning exact, I don't know if there's a bit of an old English word, exact meaning he will somehow take the taxes from the people. He will also exact taxes from the citizens and return these monies in times of need. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The process of tax exaction is very nicely explained in this verse. Tax exaction is not meant for the sense gratification of the so-called administrative heads. Tax revenues should be distributed to the citizens in times of need, during emergencies such as famine or flood. Tax revenues should never be distributed amongst governmental servants in the form of high salaries and various other allowances. In Kali Yuga, however, the position of the citizens is very horrible because taxes are exacted in so many forms and are spent for the personal comforts of the administrators. So just to clarify this statement, because this word exaction, I'm not sure what it's in German, but it's not used so often. Exact meaning genau, or like a very precise amount. Yeah. So this is normally, you give in. They say your tax returns, give it in, sign it all in, and they say they will exactly calculate how much you owe them. So it's like you're not sure. It's always a question of those who are working. What are these taxes for? What are we paying for? But this is what it's referring to, that there's an amount that is specifically there. King Prithu, of course, works in a different way. Okay. The example of the sun in this verse is very appropriate. The sun is many millions of miles away from the earth. And although the sun does not actually touch the earth, it manages to distribute land all over the planet by exacting water from the oceans and seas. And it also manages to make that land fertile by distributing water during the rainy season. As an ideal king, King Prithu would execute all this business in the village and state as expertly as the sun. Very nice, huh? I'll just reread the translation. This King Prithu will be as powerful as the sun god, and just as the sun god equally distributes his sunshine to everyone, King Prithu will distribute his mercy equally. Similarly, just as the sun god evaporates water for 8 months and during the rainy season returns it profusely, this king will also exact taxes from the citizens and return these monies in times of need. Omagyan Marandistya Gyana Salakaya Chakshu Militemina Tasme Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manopistam Statidam Yena Bhutali Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dati Samadhatikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Sati Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So yesterday we heard in a lecture of Ananda Krishna Prabhu. He spoke about the system, the political way and how things are. I have to say I am not at all interested in politics or even reading up about it. So my information is limited. I just understood at some point that it didn't really make sense in this material world to really believe, like you pointed out, yes, to really believe in anything that the statespeople told them. I'm quite a literal person. So if someone says, okay, we do this for your good, I would like to believe them. But once thought that they all say this. No, I will do it better, I will do this. So this is different. The point here that King Prithu, as a plenary portion of Krishna himself, as a ruler, as we have heard over the time, he was a perfect example of how a king should be. So taxes, it should be like this, that things are taken from us so that we feel secure and safe. So some money is taken away, is put aside. Am I talking too fast, Louis? Or Sorry. Brian, you please put your hand up if I'm too quick. So I... So I speak about a topic which has been spoken about a little while here. But so King Prithu, he was an example of how things should be done exactly. Yeah. So meaning, sorry, I just repeat this last point, that to feel safe and secure, so the King Prithu, it would be said, would take money called taxes, put them aside, and in times of need, this would be returned to the citizens. This would actually leave one feel very sort of nurtured and secure, that they were taken care of. However, as we know in modern society, it seems that the taxes don't always go to those in need, but they are diverted into other places and directions. We heard more of this yesterday, so I won't go so much into this area. However, it is always good in our lives to understand how the proper way of behavior is to be. This is also, as the yugas progress, Kali Yuga that we're in now, being the hardest. It says here the position of the citizens is very horrible. Yeah, because they are spent sometimes we can hear, sometimes spent for the personal comfort of those collecting the taxes or those around them. So those who know me usually know that I make an interactive class, but don't worry, I'm not doing that today. That's like a little bit not the easiest for those who have to deal with the recording. And also to keep on the point, I was meditating, okay, I have such a verse which is very exact about tax collection. Not such an interesting theme for me, at least. I was the bookkeeper here for many, quite some years, almost 5 years. Sorry. Steuer? Wenn jemand so will, ja, ich denke Steuer, oder? Steuer, Steuer, yeah. Steuerberatung. This is when you get advice about your taxes. This is so. Most people, when they hear the word Steuer or tax, they're already like, we have to pay. I know many people who wanted to be self-employed, but the idea of going into this whole area is bewildering. So anyway, so I thought this topic, okay, spiritually, we understand in Kali Yuga it's degraded. What is an example of tax collection which will bring us onto a higher level? Krishna Kshetra Swami gave a series of lectures under the theme relishing Srimad Bhagavatam. Oh, that's a word for you, relishing. How do we translate relishing in? Relish. Genießen, so ein Tiefe, so ein wirklich eine, wie denn, wenn du willst, etwas so schön schmecken, so diese, wie können wir das von der Srimad Bhagavatam so rausholen oder rausbringen, so in diese. So yeah, how can we really relish what we're hearing? Very nice that you've come to class today. Sometimes it may be that we leave the class and we haven't really understood so many points. Gopi Gita today spoke something about tax collection, okay? What else? So who is the most wonderful tax collector? Because we hear of those who are not, I mean, apart from King Prithu, but more transcendental in one sense. We have tax collector, the one who... Krishna! Huh? Yeah, I was asking, sorry, maybe it seemed like a rhetorical question. Krishna, huh? Krishna. 2 years ago, I had the pleasure, was with Kishorikund and a group of other devotees in a place in Vrindavan. And it was this place where Krishna collects the taxes, or tries to collect taxes from the gopis. So our minds can jump into this idea of, okay, taxes and Kali Yuga and very hard and what's the point and what's going on. So if we go away from this, there is this, there is this wonderful pastime from Rupa Goswami. It's called the tax of love. Who would like to hear this story? So one thing I ask you, you could close your eyes, you can keep them awake. Our whole point in our spiritual life is to absorb ourselves in the transcendental pastimes of Krishna. So on this was written some years ago by Mahanidhi Swami. As playful teenagers, Radha and Krishna loved to joke and to have fun. And this, in essence, is the goal of everyone's life: to love, to joke, and to have some fun. Huh? By daily absorbing ourselves in Radha Krishna, Raja Madhurya Leelas, we will quickly qualify ourselves to remember the divine couple at the last moment. Such transcendental memories will transport you to Goloka Vrindavan to forever enjoy a life of love, full of joking and full of fun, engaged in seva to Radha Govinda. It's said in Bhagavad Gita 8:6, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam dvajati anta kalvaram tam tam evaiti gotanya sadatat bhava bhavitaha. Whatever you remember at death, that you will attain. So therefore, we take this opportunity to go into this pastime with your agreement and engage our minds in this beautiful wonder of the Lord. So this pastime is called Dana Leela, the Dana Leela of Radha and Krishna. So it's been described by many poets over the ages, such as the Dana Keli Kaumadi by Sri Rupa Goswami and Dana Keli Chintamani by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Now we enter into the story. We speak of Vasudeva, so Krishna's Papa. Once upon a time, Vasudeva engaged Bhaguri Muni and some sages to conduct a homa, like we have a homa on Saturdays here, near Govinda Kund, beside Govardhan Hill, for the benefit of his son Balaram. Before starting, the sages announced that any gopis who supply ghee for the yajna will attain the fulfillment of all their desires. Radhika's pet parrot, Shukshamadi, informs her of this. Yeah? So the parrots of Vrindavan, they are under the influence of Vrindavan. They report back to her. They are like listening to what's going on, these little puppets, and then they go back and report to her. Huh? So Radhika's pet parrot, her own parrot, informs her of this. So Radha and all her Sakhis set out for Govinda Kund. Placing a small round circle of cloth on her head, as village girls often do, Sri Radha places a golden pot of ghee on it and proceeds to the yajna. While scurrying along to Govardhan, the gopis are enthusiastically chattering amongst themselves. Oh, today we will meet Priyatam, meaning Krishna, on the pretext of donating ghee. Thrilled and excited, Radha glances here and there with her big, beautiful blue eyes, while thinking, where is my prananat? Prananat. Meanwhile, in Nandagan, Krishna hears from his pet parrot, the parrots are very busy, Vichakshana, that Radha is near Govardhan Hill. So he takes Subal, Madhumangal and the others and makes at Shamavedi, this is the spot, Shamavedi, a tall booth. Now if you come to this place, you will see the hill is like very steep downwards on one way and the same on the other side. So you can only really pass a little bit in between. It's like super steep. It's difficult to describe, but just imagine, you cannot really walk far off in the distance. You have to go a particular path. So at this place, Krishna makes a toll booth. This is a place to collect toll. If you're in India before, you will see sometimes the policemen set up some improvised gates and stop the cars and said, oh, yeah, tax, give me the money. So a little bit like this. Radhika's spots Krishna atop the hill and remarks in amazement to the Sakis, "Oh Vrinda, I've seen Hari many times, but never in such an incredibly sweet form as today." Radha Krishna stare at each other's sweet beauty from afar, with unblinking eyes flooding with tears of joy. Their minds reeled in their mutual love. Radha, Sakis, her gopis, and Manjaris relished seeing the divine couple's sweet meeting. Then, Vigadhanagara Sham and his pal Subal approached Radha and the Sakis. "Now, just where are you going with these pots of ghee?" asked Subal. Completely ignoring him, the gopis proudly walk on without even moving an eyebrow. The gentle tinkling of Sriji's ankle bells sprinkles nectar in Sham's ears. Krishna steps forward, blocking Radha's path, and commands, "Pay me the tax, or else I will take away your clothes." Displaying her Kinchita Bhava, Radha simultaneously expressing feelings of anger, bashfulness, and desire. In this condition, Radha's eyes are reddish and unsteady, her eyebrows are arched, small teardrops adorn her eye corners. She laughs in an unseen way, and tiny bumps erupt on her skin. Remaining grave and silent, Kishori sidesteps Sham and keeps going. To defend their Swamini, their Radha, the Sakis come forward and start quarreling with Krishna's Gopas. When Krishna tries to touch Radha while demanding, "Pay me the tax of your adolescent beauty," Bryce walks away as if Krishna does not exist. Greatly offended, Krishna says, "How dare you ignore me and insult me like this? Oh, you Chandi," this means hot-tempered girl, "if you ignore a black snake, he will immediately enchant you by hissing. Then you will become stunned, incapable of moving." He's referring to himself. There's this blackish snake. Arching her eyebrows, Radha replies, "Oh, really? And how will a black snake survive if he attacks a mongoose? She will quickly bite him, and that will not be very opportune for him." Radhika is just as clever as Kishora in joking his dialogues. Trying his luck with the Sakis, Krishna says, "If you have no money to pay tax, then just leave Radha here alone with me as collateral." Collateral is meaning, so you cannot pay, you just leave something that's, of your possession, right? You leave it here. When you return with your payment, I will hand over your Swamini, your Radha. The Sakis say, "Oh, so you have become a tax collector just to gain Radhas. We will tell our relatives about this and you will be severely punished. How shameless you are to touch other men's wives. Oh, Shamasunda, even if you bathe in a Triveni and feed thousands of brahmanas during a solar eclipse, or worship Gora Durga high in the Himalayas, or go to Tirtha Yatra to Badrikashram, still you will not gain the Shukriti power to lay your hand on our Radharani's body." The gopis' joking words flood Shama's heart with cascades of nectar. Adorning the golden face of his sweetheart, Krishna says, "Oh Sundari, why should I leave your lotus feet and go on Tirtha Yatra to worship Gauri? Oh Hemangi Radha, you yourself are Gauri and the sum total of all holy places." After humbly praising Shriji, Shyam conveys to the Sakis he's craving to meet Radha alone with just a hint of his eyes. Then the Sakis tell their Swamini Radha, by nature, this Giridhari is very naughty, so who knows what he will do next. To protect your self-esteem, you should slip away unseen and hide in some kunja near Govardhan Hill. After hearing the Sakis, Radha becomes frightened and follows her advice. Shortly later, Shyam discovers and enters, and they laugh and are merry. First, Kamala Radha and Rasika Bhimandu Sudan enjoy the hilarious toll collecting pastime, Dana Leela. Radha Dan Bihari ki, Dan Leela ki jai. Oh, this music is nice. Huh? Sorry, I think those who speak German did not get much of this, and I wonder if I have a nice pastime myself with microphones. Were there any points that stuck out for you about this pastime? For example, Kishorikun, I think it was difficult to translate, but do you remember this when we were there in Vrindavan and Krishna Kshetra Maharaj was showing us this place? She remembers. It was a very joyful place. Huh? Yeah, this is sweetness. Huh? Sometimes we enter into the place of Vrindavan, we go there also physically, to relish some hint of this nectar of Radha and Krishna. These things are so much away from our mundane sort of reality of how we experience things. At the same time, we can appreciate the humor. Huh? You know, like this, huh? The gopis are coming, then they are thinking, how can I get somehow meet Radharani? Madhu Mangal is thinking often about his tummy. So he's also thinking, looking really what they have. Huh? Maybe some laddus, he will take his taxes another time. But these sort of pastimes are going on in a very sort of sweet but innocent way. However, you will hear the Sakis, the Gopis, and the Sakas and Krishna can be very heavy with their language too. Huh? They can be a little tough, but it's all said in transcendental sort of love. Huh? It's part of this pastime. They're a little, sometimes we played these leelas, these dramas on Govardhan Hill, especially from Rupa Goswami, and I had to say such heavy lines. I was like, no, I cannot say these lines to Krishna. And they were like, what can you not say? Here it says I should say, you go wash your own. No, please, you come and wash my feet, says a gopi. Yeah? You blackish boy. Anyway, you are no king. Please wash my feet. It's like, oh, this is part of the fun that they have. It's like this. So when you have some friends, it's a little informal. It's a little bit more joking. Huh? And you know it's not meant offensively. Nobody is saying anything. You have to make sure that it's a good friend in this case. And in this beauty and innocence, in one sense, of how the Lord plays his pastimes, one can enter a little bit deeper. This is the point of our lives. Sometimes, even in the temple, we can be a little bit weighed down by the Alltag. I love this word, German word. By everyday life. Huh? It's like, oh, is it really? Lois May comes, is it really? Every time wake up early, but I'm tired, or come here and see the Lord, or this, and again, and what I should do, some work, or what's going on. But it's not really like this here. I worked for 10 years full-time outside. This was the drain of where one really sees that you are a little bit like a hamster in a wheel, huh? Just every day, almost the same, huh? You go through. When we have a day with Krishna, the heart and the mind are in this day, huh? why Prabhupada liked to use the word consciousness, Krishna consciousness, yeah? It's a Krishna Babusai. Yeah? Why he uses this is because there has to be some level of absorption in our lives. Not just Brian, you say, Prabhu, I have some time, give me some. So Brian says, okay, please, would you mind to clean the pots? Like, okay. He says, clean the pots, clean the pots. It's like, if we go more into the acharyas, people like Radhanath Swami, when he had to clean the pots, he would think, let me clean the pots that they shine for Krishna, that they are smiling for Krishna. So he would put all of his energy in trying to make this service for Krishna. Cutting some vegetable, think, aha, this is so nice. Every vegetable that I cut here will be offered to the Lord. Huh? And then we will enjoy the prasadam afterwards. It's a process. I love when the garden season begins, because it's really such a process of love in terms of service. We begin with a seed, somebody plants when it should be planted, how we will nurture the plant, how it will grow, who will harvest it, then bring it to the kitchen, the cook, oh wow, nice, what has the Lord's gardener produced now? Then this is hopefully lovingly by the kitchen helpers. You may think, I'm just cutting vegetables. No. These are very special vegetables that will become prasadam for the Lord, right? This is cut in such a way with the intention behind, let me serve the Lord. Then as this is cooked by the devotee, he's thinking, aha, I hope the Lord will accept this offering that I make for him. Then the pujari will come and take 2 big plates. There are 2 big plates, and offer here to Sri Sri Prahlad Lakshmi Nrsimhadev. And most of us, we know the basic offering. This is like a prayer that we give. So one could relate it in the Christian way a little bit to like thanksgiving, but in our line of tradition, it's that we are sanctifying food so that it becomes ready to be eaten. So it's really sort of blessed food. And in this process, when the pujari here offers it, it's a much more elaborate process. He is in this state of worship inviting the Lord. Please come and sit. Please take. Please, Lakshmi Devi, please come. Prahlad Maharaj, please come. And then when they are seated, then ready, and they have taken achman, then the prasadam is presented in front of them. And only after a specific amount of time, the offering is finished. It's also quite elaborate. And then we are then able to take that prasadam, right? So this is a whole process of service. And in that, in modern thoughts will say, okay, please spend some time when you eat. They call it food meditation. This is meant to help digestion. For us, we have prasadam meditation. When I take this, I put it in, I understand that this is the prasadam of the Lord. Let me accept this. Let me accept it in this way. Sometimes people have specific diets, and of course one has to be careful, but this can all be offered to the Lord. But sometimes it's very special to have prasadam. It's called Mahaprasadam, when it's been offered directly to our Lord Nrsimhadev. But in this mood, one cannot take maybe everything, but just some parts one should take every day. Some little part that is agreeable to one's diet, if you have one, to take and say, this, I take this Mahaprasad and relish this. This is the same. These are very small things. I'm sorry if they seem small, but these small things are what make up the entire day. Without the consciousness behind what we do, we may only see, Kali, you play taxes, do this, work, go out, But if we change our perspective and say, everything that I need is provided by Krishna, then I am given. Give and take, it goes. Let me give what I can, and in return, Krishna will give back. Like this. That makes sense? Well, how does this sound, Lois, to you? You are fairly new here, but this is your second time here? Yes. Second time. So there must be a reason, huh, that you came back. What is the... You like it here? Du kannst gerne in Deutsch so antworten. Okay.
Ja, es ist irgendwie wie eine kleine Oase irgendwie. Also
Kleine Oase.
eine kleine Oase und ich habe mich sehr willkommen gefühlt, so fast wie Familie. Und man merkt einfach, dass diese Gottesliebe präsent ist und das habe ich sonst in meinem Umfeld nicht so. Und das macht meine Gottesliebe auch noch mehr und es ist sehr schön. Und es fühlt sich für mich eigentlich nicht wirklich so an, als würde ich Steuer hergeben, wenn ich irgendwas mache für Krishna.
I like this. You do not feel you would be paying a tax to give something for
I
Krishna.
do not feel that because I've already received more than everything. So, yeah.
Lois is very beautiful. This with eyes of and a heart full of gratitude. The Lord gives us so much. I like this term, Gottesliebe, love of God, Gottesliebe. This is very special. And this is what we need to cultivate on a daily basis. For those who live here a little longer, it's certainly a little more difficult. It's a little more difficult in one sense. Because every day, our meditation is there, but somehow the mind also is there. Sometimes the mind gives us a little trouble. Oh, you find this? Sometimes it's, yeah. No. Nobody loves me. Nothing loves me. No, this. But this place, and it's just so nice that you feel it. The presence of Lord Nrsimhadev is very strong here. So it's much more easier to, oh, you find this, Michael? Yeah? They're strong. And this power of love, what is your name, Prabhu? Ottila. So Ottila, this presence of Lord Nrsimhadev is present. And in our life, when we have been in colder places not, temperature, but like without that feeling of love and joy, when you enter into this place and feel that love, the very nature of it is that we want to grow this. And God works through his devotees. So in every moment, you are thinking, let me give that further on. At one moment you think I'm not a devotee. Does not mean anything. I'm still trying, right, to be a devotee. But that moment that you say, I feel that love, it's easier than to pass it on. And when the other parts of life kicks in, deal what you need to deal with. It's said in Nectar of Devotion, do not neglect mundane dealings. You have to maybe earn some money or clean your clothes, whatever. But try to do it in this idea of, let me always somehow meditate on the Lord and what it means. There are so many stories. Like my little boy, they like the stories of the demons and Krishna killing the demons. That's not for me. With a name like Gopi Gita, I'm more interested in Krishna and the Gopis or different stories like this. But I've heard Prabhu sometimes like a little bit of action, like this. I don't know. Yeah, yes. He says in a very grave way. Yeah.
Men like fighting.
You mean like fighting?
They are, so women are like, yeah.
Some will argue with you, huh? But okay, what is your favorite or one of your favorite pastimes with Krishna? Please, everyone, have a little thing. What can you think of, say, a pastime with Krishna? Or one that you like. It doesn't have to be your favorite.
To be honest, I don't know much about Krishna.
Oh, maybe you like baby Krishna. Or maybe you also...
the Damodar pastimes, they are really nice.
Yeah, very beautiful. And we have the whole month of Kartik to experience it. Ekishorikun looks like she remembers a Leela, their pastime. Bean. The bee Leela.
Wo ich dann noch draußen im Garten saß und habe die uns mit dem Krishna-Kalender und wie wo spaziert hier immer auf Stunden auf einem Arm rum.
This is in German, we've heard it quite sometimes, very beautiful. Naraini, you've heard this story of Kishorikund? Quite some years ago, maybe 8 years ago, like this, really young. There was Kishorikund in the summer would often be outside to make the garlands. So why not? Huh? Just with flowers. And I had a calendar and I was thinking, who is it for? Who should it be for? I think it came to me that I wanted to give to Kishorikund. I thought Kishorikund will appreciate this. And in this calendar, it was from Radha Madan Mohan. Huh? And they have, there is a pastime with Radha Rani and a bee. So they have this outfit. So it's black and yellow, this outfit, that is sort of bee-like outfit. So just wanted to show her. So I came in my own world to show her. And she's like, look, Gopi Gita, look. And as she says, there was this beautiful, we call it a hummingbee, sort of the fluffy one. So pink and yellow, not pink and yellow, sorry, black and yellow, walking up and down her hand, yeah. And then I sort of looked in my hand at what I had to show her, and she said, look, it's just like there in this calendar, in this moment. So somehow you'll see sometimes you may be thinking of something, and then another devotee will bring, oh wow, that's really... And what does it make us feel like? It makes us know that God is present, that Krishna is present here in his way. There's this famous story of a poor brahmana who did not have enough money to buy nice things for the Lord, to offer to him. But he thought, okay, in the mind he can offer. So he would sit there very sort of still and meditate, okay, what can I offer? Okay, today I will offer him, yes, I will offer my Lord sweet rice. So he would meditate himself making the sweet rice, finding a wonderful bowl, and then offering it to the Lord. He would do this meditation many, many times, always like this meditating, and that the Lord would accept it. Oh, please forgive me if I remember this story wrong. It's a little spontaneous. And then he would check the rice. One time in his meditation, he checked the rice and he was like, ow! And he stepped out of his meditation, although the rice was too hot. And he was like, okay, but it was in my meditation, and he looked and his finger was burnt. Yeah, so in this moment, one realized that his meditation was so powerful that it becomes reality, right? The Lord really does accept and make things happen in this way. This is why in our daily lives, they say in Kali Yuga, we are forgiven offenses caused by our mind, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to cultivate sattvic and wonderful thoughts. And when it's difficult to cultivate, that's why it's beautiful sometimes just to take Krishna book, think of a story, look through the list of contents, the contents at the beginning, the table of contents, and today I read this story. And one keeps his meditation. Prabhus, if you need, like a more ferocious story. Some ladies also need a little bit of fire sometimes. Or others might think, okay, I want to hear this. For my boys, it was a little bit too hard about the beginning where all of the sons are killed of Devaki. So we needed to move on until there is more fun in this way. And in this way, when we hear these beautiful pastimes, this is a way of being with the Lord. Yeah. Michael, you are smiling. It seems that it makes sense for you. Huh? You also have a nice pastime with Krishna. Do you remember? Ja, du kannst in Deutsch antworten. You can please answer in German.
Es gibt so viele, aber ich mag auf jeden Fall das Talia und ich mag auch die Geschichte.
Kalia?
Yeah, this dancing on the head. And also with the bumblebee is nice because with Radharani has this feelings of lost Krishna and es spricht mit der Hummel und es ist so traurig und sagt, du bist ein Boot von Krishna, die mag ich auch sehr, sehr gerne. Vielleicht würde
Genau, ja. Wie Kishore-Kund, ja. Schön mit Hummel.
Und die kam ja ein paar Wochen, die kam jeden Tag. Ich habe mich hingesetzt, kam, aber das dauerte stundenlang ist sie immer. Und am Anfang, ziemlich am Anfang, bist du gekommen mit dem Kalender und hast gesagt, guck mal, was ich hier habe. Krishna als Hummel. Ich sage, guck mal, was ich hier habe. Ja.
Yeah, hers was better than
Also
mine, but it was nice how we put it together.
Danke.
Sure.
Ist immer so niedlich.
So, Michael, you like this pastime because Radharani is so bewildered that she has not her Krishna in front of her, that everything was Krishna. Yeah. Shivram Swami has written different books on these pastimes of the Gopi. I think there's in one called Krishna Sangati. The Gopis are so bewildered that the Krishna is away from them. They can hardly breathe. They are hardly moving. They can hardly do anything. They're just thinking Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And then it becomes evening time. And in the night sky being the same bluish, blackish complexion of Krishna, they look up and they say, wow, Krishna is here. He's here. He's here. Now we can go. Because Krishna is everywhere. And the night sky seems like it is also everywhere. So they are completely, wow, we can now go on, because Krishna is very, very beautiful, the sort of pastimes, because this sort of transcendental separation is very hard to understand. That it's said that the feelings of separation is more deeper than this feeling of meeting Krishna. Yeah, it's sort of in this way. One can actually see when one, in a transcendental way, separated, then you're completely absorbed in when will I see this person again? When will I see when? So actually, your consciousness is more covered by thoughts of them. When someone is in front of you, be like, yeah. Narayani is just there like this. But when she goes, why is she in Spain? Where she goes for so long? She doesn't know Lord Nrsimha, and she's here again. Yes. So it is like this too, amongst the devotees. We are happy when people also return. Nice. So please spend that time. This is really a point I really take from Krishna Kshetra Swami. Anything that we do in our point with Srimad Bhagavatam should be something that helps us to understand what's being written. The next point was that we see what's relevant to us. What is your name again? Olita. Attila. No, please tell me. I am from England. We like names like Sam, Max. You know, like one syllable, it's terrible. Michael is easy. Or no, he's in German, he's actually Michael, but he will... Otti, thank you, Otti. So Otti, you may think, what is relevant to me? So relevant to you could be, what pastime of Krishna do I want to read to you? This could be relevant for you. You know, what is relevant? You may want to think about the Dana Kelly Leela, the tax collection. And also there may be the third point that he says, maybe some doubts or something that you need some more understanding about. These are all points that will help one to feel a bit more engaged. Sometimes we read points, what does it mean? Like this word, tax exaction. It's a very precise term. And at one moment you're like, I don't really understand it, but it's used around 4 times. So this was, I hope I clarified it. It's not so important in that way. Like this. Are there any other questions or points? Brian, it's difficult, you were translating, but are there any points that you liked? Do you have a favorite Leela of Krishna? There's sometimes a Leela or something that you like to think of. Oh, Kurukshetra. Arjuna and Krishna. A particular moment or point? please, sorry. Sometimes I listen online and then suddenly it feels that someone is saying something very important and you don't hear anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Auf Deutsch oder auf
English probably, because
English.
it's the lectures in
Yeah.
English.
I'd say the beginning and the end, because
The blowing of the conch shells, when Arjuna is...
little bit later when is Krishna is like, when there is the change of relationship with Arjuna, and there is so much like compassion on Krishna's side towards Arjuna, which is so bewildered, and it's so dramatic moment, so there is a lot of exchanges of emotions between the two.
Do you mean this part where Arjuna drops his bow and says, I shall not fight?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And also when then he takes shelter of Krishna. And then also at the end when he, when Krishna said the whole Bhagavad Gita, but then he really, there's so much compassion over him, because you see, to Arjuna, he really wants to say to him what is best for him as a friend. And then he says the famous Sarva Dharma Parityaja, Mamekam Sharanam Vrajam. And then at the end, how he says that that also whoever also Sanjay says the conclusion how this whoever is read or wherever there are the Krishna and Arjuna, then there is always victory, morality, and also so I like the
It's actually beautiful. It took me years to realize that the Bhagavad Gita had a story there, because I was always lost with this sort of verse, translation, purport. So it's like this. So you sort of read through, and there's so many beautiful philosophical points, but I didn't get the whole relationship. As often also Krishna Kshetra Swami gave this point too, that we can do for Srimad Bhagavatam as well as Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes just take that time. It doesn't take long, especially with Bhagavad Gita, just to read the translations through. Then you will get a gist of the story of what's going on. It's beautiful when we have Gita Jayanti, we do this. Then one really feels the emotion behind it to what's going on. Achyuta Gopi also gives a beautiful lecture on this point that Brian referred to, where Arjuna at one moment is just bewildered. He's like standing on the battlefield in front of these huge armies and thinking, what am I doing here? You know, we can relate to this. What am I doing here? What can I can't do it. I can't, that's it. Achyuta Gopi says, you can say that Arjuna had like a panic attack, and panic attacks are like hellish, terrible in one moment. You're bewildered. He drops his bow, what's going on? What can I do? I can't do anything. I don't know what to do. Nothing. That's it. Nothing. If you understand it also on an emotional point of view, it's not just a case of, Arjuna Krishna told me what to do. It's like, I've got no clue here. I'm giving you my reasons, my reasoning for why I cannot fight. Like I can't kill my kinsman, I can't kill my family, won't I go to hell? All these different reasons. My conclusion is I'm not doing it. That's it. Yeah? And then Krishna, the beauty of Krishna, to turn this all around and give the explanation is very amazing and very relevant in our own lives. Most people I know at some moment come to a crossroads or a questioning point where they ask, what am I doing? What's going on? And in that level, instead of delving into just the practical side, it is usually through prayer to the Lord that can give some deeper realizations to help one, right? So this is the joy of it all. Thank you for that example. It's like, different parts. But again, battlefield, ready to go, so it's nice. I like the reasoning in Bhagavad Gita. So it goes through the different yoga ladder, so different parts of yoga explains, like, but it's not like you just do it like this. If you don't do it like this, you know, it's like, there's also karma yoga, there's this yoga, don't go for this. If you can't manage this, then go for this. You know, it's like sort of reasonable. It's not like you must just do this way. It gives you the reasons why, ultimately, but it gives a whole different sort of pathway in as well. So, it's very beautiful. Thank you for those points. So please, on relishing Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, please take those time to absorb your mind in wonderful parts that feel relevant to you or that give you some sort of joy. Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Krishna. When you're a bhakti yogi, as soon as you hear the flute, one thinks of Krishna. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Ich habe mein